It's here! One of the most insane premises in Saved by the Bell history, Rockumentary! So buckle up those butts, because we've got babes, backstabbing, and no building. Let's effing go!
Thought we'd always be together.
Yeah! Rock on, guys! A few notes before we get started. First off, this episode is a dream, so we won't nitpick at the leaps in logic, like Casey Kasem somehow being in Slater's garage reporting on the band before they got big. Second, this concept came from Bennett Tramer, who made the writing staff watch This Is Spinal Tap on VHS before they started writing. We'll see how many influences bled into the script. Finally, you likely noticed that Jesse is absent in this episode. During prep for the ep, she tripped in a doorway and split her knee open. Unable to perform, the crew scrambled to redistribute her lines and update the blocking. She missed this episode and the next taped episode that we've already covered all in the mall. The episodes produced right after that were the Malibu Sands episodes, which is why she'll be rocking a bandage on that knee. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. To Zack's dream of being a famous rock star? We open with Zack in the legit Saved by the Bell hair and makeup room, with his hair being done by the show's legit hair person, Paulette Pennington, and his makeup being done by the show's legit makeup person, Allison Woody. Fans rush, but it's cool. Zack is a man of the people.
See, I know what it's like to be a fan. I used to sneak into Paula Abdul's dressing room at least twice a week.
Okay, now we know for sure this is a fantasy. Casey Kasem is here to guide us along through the documentary, or
the, if you will, rockumentary.
Casey Kasem takes us down the legit studio halls where Saved by the Bell is produced. We meet the band, and Screech is dressed like the Pope to hide from fans. I'm sorry, but a Pope in Southern California is going to raise more eyebrows. Maybe Screech should stick to his lady costumes. He's successfully hidden in plain sight twice before now. Just like This Is Spinal Tap is a documentary on the band starting a tour for their Smell the Glove album, this episode is a documentary on Zack Attack starting their Friends Forever tour. But where the movie explores the past through talking heads and archive footage, our episode just sends Casey Kasem through time, like the boundaries of time and space have no hold on him, because he is a dream entity. The band practiced in Slater's garage. The last time we were here was in Driver's Education, and Zack's dream / the set designers do a decent job reconstructing it. Let's take a listen.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
I said it back in the Zack Tapes video when Scott Gale wrote that chart-crashing hit by Beau Revere, but it seems like Scott didn't have a good pulse on contemporary music. For instance, the week this episode dropped, new songs to hit the Billboard Top 100 chart included Is It Good to You by Heavy D and the Boys, Mysterious Ways by U2, and Black or White by Michael Jackson. Maybe Friends Forever does hold up, especially since the top 10 songs included That's What Love Is For by Amy Grant, It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday by Boys to Men, and the number one song, When a Man Loves a Woman by Michael Bolton. My bad, Scott. This is a certified bop.
Right, that was the best song you ever wrote, Zack.
All right. Yeah, I like the title, Friends Forever. It's pretty cool.
We knew Slater would like the title, as he earlier pitched a similar name for the gang's friendship bracelet business.
We're selling friendship bracelets, and we're all friends, right? Well, what about friendship forever?
The idea has also been a common theme for Zack, like after he and Jesse went the political rounds in the election.
Still friends?
Forever.
And also after some a-hole showed up and stole Kelly from him.
Can we still be friends?
Forever.
So the group is amped, and then we get set up for a terrible pun.
Little did they know that fate was running by their door.
Excuse me. Hello, I'm Brian Fate.
Did you guys get it? Fate was running by their door, and his name is Brian Fate, and he's been out running. Did you get it? Brian Fate is a famous producer and manager, and his name, it seems, is very similar to Spinal Tap's manager's name. Very similar.
Are you really interested in this?
Does Bart Simpson have animated zits?
Brian Fate is also British, like Ian Faith. And no, Bart Simpson doesn't have animated zits. He's 10. Zack Attack hooks up with Brian Fate, and we see them grow from a small venue to a large venue to officially recording their first single. Several notes here. First off, what is up with Kelly's pants? Is she caught up in, like, famous people fashion? Why did Zack make her wear those? Speaking of Kelly, our girl is singing with a stolen voice. As seen in The Last Dance, Jesse is the lead singer for Zack Attack.
When we met, I knew.
Since Jesse was supposed to be in this episode, they used the same singer. When Elizabeth Berkley had to bow out, Kelly simply stepped in and no one was the wiser. With Zack Attack's meteoric rise, it makes sense that they bring along the famous Paula Abdul poster and the new Depeche Mode poster to make the studio feel a little more familiar. And now for some grammar. The title track on the single has terrible casing. And where's the question mark? It should read like this. The show is supposed to be about high school, not propped by people who failed it. Unnecessary burn. And is this Billbox magazine from Russia? My favorite song is Did We Ever Have Chance? I'm going to point out this odd shut up Dustin Diamond moment before heading into the last note about their instrument playing. We've noted before that these kids can't play a lick. Well, except for Slater. Mario Lopez was a drummer and looks tight behind a set. I'm curious what the thought process was for what everyone else played. Guitars are cool, so that's obviously Zack, and no one would think that Screech can play the bass.
Okay, nice, very nice. Alright, give me a smooth bass line. I don't know how to play bass.
Lisa.
How many times do we have to go through this? You're black, you can play bass.
I'm getting sick of your stereotypes.
Be as sick as you want, just give me a bass line.
At a press conference, we are formally introduced to the band's publicist, Mindy Wolitzer. Questions are asked, answers are given, and we learn that Friends Forever has sold 5 million copies. But Zack's ready to move on.
You know, in fact, I just got an idea for a new song.
What's it called?
Mindy, Mindy.
Ooh, is this Zack Attack's Yoko? Or said differently, is this Zack Attack's Janine Petone? The group is nominated for, and wins, the award. Dream Zack lets his friends' personalities shine through. Kelly is a cheesy sap. Slater is a humble yet confident stud. Screech is a doof, but authentic. Lisa thanks her stylists. Zack is properly narcissistic.
And everyone for listening to my music. I mean our music. Thank you.
Some notes here. The presenters of the award are lookalikes of Michael Jackson and Madonna. I like that Dream Zack lets Lisa shoot her shot.
Lisa, you would really cut your hair if some boy wanted you to?
Well, maybe. If he was someone special, who had the qualities of, let's say, Michael Jackson.
And I'd like to ask Michael to wait backstage for me. Thank you.
This is a fun pairing, as Michael Jackson and Madonna dated briefly in 1991. The relationship was... Bonnie McMurray. Now I wish this episode was done a decade later so the award could be presented by a Britney Spears lookalike. Ooh, look at this party. But wait a minute, you might say. Isn't this just Johnny Dakota's party pad? It is very similar, which makes sense because why wouldn't Dream Zack try to recreate his one and only famous people party? I imagine that this logic is why Zack dreamt himself rocking that Johnny Dakota coat earlier in the episode. The guy disgusted him, but he couldn't deny that it was a cool jacket. During this after party, Dream Zack's pettiness runs wild. His former rival Slater gets all the girls, only to forfeit those girls to Zack's original friend. Ha! Stupid. Ex-girlfriend Kelly gets similar treatment when a guy she likes talks himself out of taking her out. It's pathetic.
What happened here?
Dream Zack. Now, there's a scene in This Is Spinal Tap where David and Janine present costume ideas to the band, and the band quite rightly shuts them down. It seems like our writers liked this concept, but switched it up. Lisa presents some new costume ideas, and Zack, who's been thinking with his pelvic brain, shuts her down. And then the devil digs her claws in deeper.
You stick with me, you'll be a star.
Me? Yeah, what about the group?
You don't need them, they're just backup singers.
Fractures in the band begin to form when Zack shows up late with a song he co-wrote with Mindy. They are upset that he's written a song without them, but isn't he Zack Attack's primary songwriter?
Right, that was the best song you ever wrote, Zack.
All right.
In an attempt to prove that others can write hit songs, Kelly, Screech, and Slater perform an original song about having school outside.
Hit the beach, teach. Let us learn while we burn.
Boof. And then there is infighting in the studio. Just like the movie, where there will be serious consequences. But for now, let's try out Zack and Mindy's song. It's certainly a different direction, but loads better than whatever this trio was going for. Things are taking a turn for the worse and the band... Wait a second. Let's go back to that second news rag. As noted in All in the Mall, this is the newspaper Screech was reading. But how did he get his hands on a dream tabloid from the future? Also, this first paper showcases one of the cast promo shots, but they obviously had to erase Jesse for the prop. Alright, back to the Discord. 5 minutes before their next show, Zack demands to know who has been spreading these accurate portrayals of their band dynamics. Of course it was Screech. It's always Screech. And just like Janine's meddling causes Niles to quit Spinal Tap, Mindy's meddling causes Zack to go solo. Hello, reused Paula Abdul poster. Casey Kasem brings the mood down a few notches.
After the breakup, each member went their own separate way.
Zack dreams up a scenario where Screech searches out the meaning of life from the high geek. Someone was high when they put this in the script. Did someone let Johnny Dakota in the writer's room? Ladies and gentlemen, the secret of happiness as proclaimed from Zack's dream.
Marry a cheerleader and live at the beach!
Well, that's a long shot. So discount Ed Grimley gives Screech a lucky retainer. Slater likes to go fast. And Dream Zack learns the first rule of being a celebrity.
It isn't me.
It doesn't matter. It's what sells.
No.
Come on, Zack. Do you really think that Dua Lipa is set to smolder 100% of the time? No way! The girl is a nerd and is mad into books, yo! All this other posturing and posing is just part of the celebrity game. But Zack can't hack being the next Vanilla Ice, so when he hears of Slater being in an accident, he quickly bails on Mindy. Oh, the guy who went back on his Friends Forever mantra isn't loyal to you? Shocker!
Kelly rushed from her new role in life to be at Slater's side.
How fast were you going?
Only 275.
This is played like a sight gag, right? But there's no payoff. Kelly is off camera when Casey Kasem explains that she has a new role, and then we get the pan that reveals that she's a nun. This should be absurd since we know that she really likes boys, especially since we saw earlier that she could not help but touch Slater's massive arm. So why no laughter? Well, Kelly starts her line right as the camera moves to her, leaving zero room for audience reaction. I wonder if they tried the joke approach in earlier rehearsals and it just wasn't working. But it still seems like it was blocked to be a joke. Knowing that this is a dream, it's kind of funny that Zack made his ex-girlfriend a nun, but then also kind of sweet that it's revealed that she's an actress on the soap opera Santa Barbara, as being an actress is one of the things Kelly wanted to be after high school. It's also kind of funny that Zack dreamt of his old archenemy being hospitalized. But then also kind of sweet that he didn't subject Slater to similar problems with the hospital bed. With American Gladiators being referenced throughout the show, it's kind of funny that Dream Zack makes Lisa a gladiator in a knockoff version of the show. It's also kind of sweet how Dream Zack gives Screech a cheerleader.
Yay, Linda!
Everything about Linda is awesome.
Okay, yay! S-L-A-T-E-R, yay, Slater! If you don't get rid of Linda, I'm gonna throw her out the window. B-Y-E, bye!
Hold up. Come on back, Linda. That cheerleading outfit looks oddly similar to the one Elizabeth Berkley wore in her step-by-step appearance. And just like Nigel returning to tour Japan with Spinal Tap, Zack rejoins his friends, and then we get concert footage of the whole 2 minutes of Friends Forever. 3 things to note here. First, I hate Lisa's headless bass. I know it comes down to personal preferences, but I prefer the weight and stature of a proper bass. Next, Dream Zack liked this girl so much he put her, same clothes and all, in the reunion concert. I mean, it is a great-looking top. Finally, no, this is not an early Ryan Gosling sighting. This is Tiffani Thiessen's brother, Skyler.
And that brings us back to the present.
That it does. Zack wakes up and the band gets to rehearsing. Is it odd to anyone else that Zack was sleeping in Slater's garage? How long was he in there? This episode is a classic, but it bears repeating that this was all a dream. Zack Attack getting big isn't canon. I've seen all kinds of chatter about how the episode is confusing or misleading. It's neither of those. It's a dream. The episode is pure filler. Pure, fun filler. And to those who can't appreciate it for what it is, I must ask, who hurt you? Who plucked the fun from your heart? Take a moment and pray to Pope Screech to free you from these mirthless chains. Casey Kasem narrated our Rockumentary. He's best known for revolutionizing radio countdowns by adding special interest pieces and teasers for musicians during his shows. His most famous program was American Top 40, which he hosted for over 20 years. For several years, he was the voice of NBC promotional announcements, and that relationship may be why he had no problem appearing in Saved by the Bell on 2 separate occasions. Mr. Kasem also had a great run of voice work for cartoons, his biggest being the voice of Shaggy on Scooby-Doo.
Like, why aren't your legs moving, man? Run!
Casey Kasem received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1981, was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame in 1992, and entered the National Broadcasters Hall of Fame in 1995. He died in 2014 at the age of 82, making his catchphrase just a little more poignant.
This is Casey Kasem saying keep your feet in the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Brian Fate was played by Nick Brooks. His on-screen credits are very few, but they do include parts in Quantum Leap, In Love and War, and Saving Private Ryan. Stacey Foster played the distracting PR consultant Mindy Wallenser. Stacey's first stint was in Night of the Living Dead as the zombie with the doll, so she got a lot of unrecognizable exposure. She would later have small parts in shows like Reasonable Doubts, Harry and the Hendersons, and Baywatch Nights. She also had a string of appearances in other TNBC shows like USA High. Here she is in The Guys Next Door getting harassed by some dirty, dirty gangsters. Holy crap, I sure do hate this show. Here she is in California Dreams as Miss Morris, forcing Tony to come to terms with his slavery roots and helping Lorena learn some fun family facts.
I'm also related to Mario Lopez.
Oh, he's in that show that we love. Stacey's also in 2 episodes of The New Class, and oh my gosh, I had to watch more of these.
Give me cancer now, guy!
Stacey played a wilderness guide in 2 episodes. You know, I've never seen episodes so late in the New Class run, and if it weren't for Mr. Belding and Screech, I don't think I would have recognized this as part of Saved by the Bell. Stacey does just fine as an adult in a TNBC show. I can't say the same for the other 2 adults being dragged along. Though I will admit that Dustin and Dennis do show some chemistry that almost comes off as competent comedy. That, plus the insanely good-looking cast, plus the guy playing Nicky being really likable, I could almost watch this. Linda, the source of Dream Screech's happiness, was played wonderfully by Teresa Lee. She's got very few credits, most likely because she was a booking assistant and not a full-blown actress. In fact, she worked for Dustin Diamond's agent and he was surprised to see her on set. And now for some fun stuff. Wait, we're already over 20 minutes? I think I smell a special in our future.
Roll with me. Let us learn while we burn.